All right, it is time now once again for the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. My name is Elias Mellis, but you can call me Eli for short. And who is this incredibly patient lady to my right? Who the heck are you?
I'm Dawn Ledgerwood. I'm your girlfriend.
That's right. You are Dawn Ledgerwood. You're my amazingly patient girlfriend.
Absolutely patient. I'm kidding, though.
And you know I emphasize that because that's absolutely false. I'm kidding.
No.
Kind of.
I am patient, and because you're patient with me, and that's part of being in a relationship.
That's a better comeback than my little
Snarky.
funny to start the show, right?
You can go ahead and say whatever you're going to start to say. You want to make it funny?
Yeah, well, we'll just leave it at that. But all right. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. This is episode number 37, and the topic today is stop defaming for dollars online or get sued. One more time, episode number 37 of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. The title is Stop Defaming for Dollars Online or Get Sued. We're going to get to that in just a little bit here because we've been talking a lot about content creators online getting sued for defamation, and I'm actually involved in the defamation suit. We're not going to be really talking about my suit today. I've talked about it in the past. I am suing another YouTuber on the platform for defamation and a whole lot more than that. But I'm not the only one. There are many other YouTubers and content creators online getting sued, and we're going to focus on one other major one here today and share a bit about the story regarding what's going on, and share also what you can do to protect yourself to avoid being sued for defamation. But before we get to that, babe, as always, we are going to share, how the past week has been here at our wonderful organization, the GNA, which is short for Genuine Networking Association. How's the past week been, babe?
Well, with the GNA, it's been great. We've had really good streams, really good feedback from our, not just the community, but our executive team. And so we're all on the same page, and it's just going the right way, put it all in motion, and things are running real smooth for us. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, absolutely. But more happened this past week. This past week was Thanksgiving Day on Thursday. I'm surprised that you didn't lead in with Thanksgiving Day, baby, and how that went.
Well, no, I just wanted to cover quick the GNA, and then, because this might be a little longer, that's why.
Oh, everything's a part of the GNA, babe, including our personal life. So, I mean, you can just incorporate the whole thing. But thank you for trying to be so structured.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yeah. So Thursday was Thanksgiving. That has to be one of my favorite holidays. It's a tie between Christmas and Thanksgiving, really. But I'd say Thanksgiving has become more of my favorite holiday in the last 20 years, I would have to say. It means a little bit more than the commercialized, tree and gifts. I mean, Christmas means a whole lot more, just in itself. So I think I appreciate the meaning of Thanksgiving and the bringing together of family, friends, sharing recipes, stories. I mean, anything. I mean, my sister-in-law and I and Eli got into this conversation about the Murdaugh murders, which was
we just finished watching that on Hulu.
Crazy story.
That guy's going to be in jail for the rest of his life.
Yeah, so I mean, it just was really
Murdered
nice
his wife
to kind of
and one of his sons.
yeah, I was just going to say, it was just kind of nice to talk with my sister-in-law and just kind of shoot the shit like that. And we spent, a lot of time talking with my parents and my other sister-in-law and my nieces, my nephew. And of course, my brothers, they were there. And so we all just had a really good time. My sister-in-law is, my God, an excellent cook. I mean, she really, really is. And she did the whole thing by herself. And it was really impressive and really yummy. What did you think about dinner?
I thought it was fantastic. The food was amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. Your family members, pretty much all of them are great cooks. Your mother, your sister-in-law, your brother,
my nephew, my brother, my son.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in that kind. Well, my nephew and my son are in the industry. The rest are just home cooks that are just become so
your
fantastic.
Your son is in the industry?
I'm sorry, what?
Your son is in the industry?
Yes, he is.
Your blood son.
My blood.
Not your daughter's husband, who's also a chef. Who's been a chef before.
No, I'm talking about my biological boy that came right outside of me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I understand how that works.
Yeah. But no, my boy. Yeah,
wow.
He's in the industry and he's really enjoying it. He
loves culinary arts, huh?
Yes, and he's doing like fine dining.
Hmm.
So he's doing
smart.
really great.
He wants to be in the more high end part of culinary arts, so there's more money in
well,
the
yeah,
high-end
there's
aspect.
more money. There's actually just more pride.
More pride, more money. Better,
yeah, I mean,
if
you're just in a regular, let's say, diner kind of place, and you're just on the line flipping burgers, that's great. We need people doing that. But when people actually have an art and a purpose and a desire to cook and my God, just the things that they come up with to put together that just taste amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible. And so I'm very proud. And my nephew was just talking about, he was working at a pizza joint and now he's working at, it's not a high end, I would say, but it is not quite like an Applebee's or Chili's. It's just a little bit better than that. Maybe like an Outback. That would be a good example.
Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Outback Steakhouse.
It's not that because they don't live out there. It's something, it's a very small, like a family named or family owned restaurant.
It's like a mom and pop restaurant.
Yeah, but it's equivalent to like the food of an Outback.
Not a chain restaurant.
Yeah, no, it's they serve steak and burgers and salads and chicken and all of that stuff. So that's why I say Outback. But you know what? I don't know. That's just what I got from him. I haven't been there yet. So on the next trip, we're probably going to want to go and visit the nephew and have him make us a meal.
Sounds good to me.
Or I will just tell my nephew that he's in charge of Thanksgiving next year.
That sounds good to me too.
Get my son and my nephew together.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, babe. Whatever surprises you have coming for me when it comes to food. I mean, they say food is the gateway to a man's heart, right?
Yeah.
If you feed your man properly, then that's a happy man, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I would think so.
Yeah. No,
my dad's been pretty happy.
Well, yeah.
My brothers are happy.
I'll confirm that for you.
You're happy.
Yeah.
I'm sure your dad is thrilled.
My dad was a great chef. God rest his soul.
He was a great chef, according to what I've heard.
Absolutely.
But after working 16 to 18 hours, I'm sure he enjoyed your mom's cooking.
Sure.
Very much.
My dad did work a lot, but my dad used to be a chef in his younger days when him and his family were living in the dogs are... Okay, guys. Stop it.
It was when he was living in Canada.
When he was living in Vancouver, BC, Canada, British Columbia. My my dad, his sister, my aunt Lisa, who you've met, she's out here in the U.S. nearby where we live.
She's a fantastic cook.
She's a great cook. So was my dad, and his parents were great cooks. They all owned a restaurant in Vancouver, BC, Canada, and so that carried over to when my dad got married, and
just him coughing or choking down
there
there sounded
the dogs
funny.
are underneath our table here, and we can't leave them outside of the studio room because then they'll just bark and whine. So sometimes it takes a while for them to settle down, but they're going to be just fine. But anyway, yeah. So anything else, babe? This week has been quite a simple week. Besides preparing all week to spend the day with your family, my family went to my aunt's house and they had their dinner, and it went very well, which is what my mother told me.
Mm-hmm.
And next year we'll be spending it. We alternate.
Yeah, we're gonna alternate.
We're gonna alternate.
That's what usually happens when you're in a relationship.
You're
married or you're living together, and it's serious like ours is. Yeah, you have to rotate.
You compromise by alternating.
Excuse me, absolutely.
Yeah,
because like Eli's family means as much as my family does to me.
Absolutely, and vice versa.
Yeah. So, and I was actually talking with my parents about someday bringing the families together for a holiday.
Of course.
And of course, this would be the best place because
it's a big house.
So big.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to travel.
That's true. We wouldn't have to travel over 3 hours one way.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else, baby?
No.
It's been a nice week. And,
got some great shopping done, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for the Black Friday sales that happened like all week on Amazon, and and then, we're recording this on what day?
Sunday, November 30th. The last day of November in 2025, and it'll be released throughout the entire podcast network on Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025.
Yes. So, what was I going to say about?
I don't know. I'm not a mind reader.
I was to say something about
it'll come
this
back
being
to you.
Sunday. What was I talking about right before that?
Well, we were just talking about, cooking and all that stuff. And Thanksgiving and spending time with your family, and one day all of our families will get together.
Yeah, I got that, but
it's all right. We'll come back to it.
That's okay. We'll come back to it. It had something to do with Cyber Monday. That's what I was going to talk about.
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday is tomorrow. So, that's why I was clarifying our dates.
When we release this Cyber Monday, will have passed. We're recording this the day before Cyber Monday. Let's be clear about that.
And so we'll say we hope you all were able to take advantage of all the great deals and get all of your Christmas shopping done in 1 week.
Yeah.
I hope that's happened for you guys.
There will be deals all week, but the best deals are typically on Black Friday, and what I've noticed, even better deals on Cyber Monday.
Yeah. Not even just on electronics. I've noticed
everything.
Yeah, where it was just electronics on the Monday, or
in the past there was a huge focus on it.
No, I am wrong. Correct me, because Black Friday was going to be the day everybody goes out to shop and get the sales. And then Cyber Monday was the online shopping for the sales.
Yeah, but both days are primarily online, and also they're in the store as well. Some things are online only, but the world has really made a huge shift to online purchases. So,
yeah, Eli really likes to shop online. I think I've said this before, but it has been over 4 years now since I've walked into a Target, and I swear I am going through serious withdrawals. Like, he doesn't get just the freeness of walking around like, okay, I want to get maybe a sweater, and maybe not from Target, but just walking around, going to the mall or something. It's I don't know. It's better to be able to like go touch, feel,
Sure.
see the colors, see the fit, and instead of just guessing it's going to work out.
Yeah, we'll go walking through some of the stores. You make it sound like we never get out. We do.
Well, we've had
a lot of things going on.
And Target's not a priority. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we go to the grocery store. We go to CVS. We go wherever we need to go. It's just Target's not a necessity.
Well, then we can make it a priority one of these days. How's that?
Yeah. Well, we could just say, I could just tell you, I'd like to go to Target and we'll plan a day that we take 2 hours to go.
Sounds good.
Well, you all heard him say it. So
okay.
Now
be
he
accountable
has to do it.
All right. So anything else, babe,
Nope.
regarding the past week? It was a pretty simple week. We got to spend it with your family. We made it work. We were actually early. We were not late.
Yeah, we were an hour and a half.
I was punctual, baby.
Yeah, and that was really great. I felt so much
relief.
Just relief, no anxiety, no tension. It's funny though, because I talked with my mom and she was told to be there at 11:30. And my sister-in-law said dinner was at 3. And so my mom was thinking 1 o'clock's appropriate, which is what we wound up like at 1:25 or something.
1:45. 1:45.
Oh, 1:45, whatever. And so my mom and dad left at 9:30 and got there at like 11:30. And it was just my brother, sister-in-law, nieces, and my parents. And then it was like an hour later before my other brother showed up with his family. And then it was like 45 minutes before we showed up. And then it was like another 40 minutes before my nephew showed up.
Right. Maybe your mother went there to help with the preparation a bit.
Yeah, but my sister-in-law had it all done by herself. She had to be cooking 2 days before.
Okay, well, they all got there before we did. They all live a lot closer to each other than we do from your family. So
yeah, but we were told to get there around 1:30.
Maybe they wanted to talk shit about us before we showed up. I mean, what else could I say about it? I mean, that would make sense. That's the only thing that would make sense.
Don't say that shit because you know what they're going to do.
Or they were there to help prep early. They were either there to shit talk us before we showed up, or they were there to help with prep.
Okay, you realize what you just did.
I made a funny.
Well, a funny for normal people, but we're talking to the YouTube world, and they're going to take that like my family wants to talk shit about you and I.
This is the thing I want to help.
These are the problems.
I want to help you and others get over this. She's stuck on this one audience based on one creator that I am suing for defamation and a bunch of other things. I've gone into more detail on past podcasts. You can go back to previous episodes if you want to hear the backstory. But she's more concerned about what this small group of people that have been smearing us for years, which is why I'm suing the main leader of that group. And so I don't really care about what those people say. There's almost 3 billion monthly active users on YouTube. I'm not worried about this group of 40 or 50 people. We don't run our show for them. We run our show for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. But I was just like making a joke. I'm not consumed by them. It doesn't bother
I get
me.
I just wanted to clarify the record.
Oh, yeah, no.
I wanted to clear the record,
I think it's funny because now we gave them something and they're going to have so much fun coming up with all their...
Or maybe they'll just realize that, they're all under the scrutiny of the court right now and they'll just stop.
Well, it's stupid. Stupid behavior from adults. Period.
Well, yeah. What did you say?
I just said it.
Okay. Anything else, babe, before we get into this show here? Because we've got a lot to talk about and, we got to get it all in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, let's start, baby.
All right.
I've got stuff to do.
Again, today's topic is stop defaming for dollars online or get sued. This has been a very important topic to me lately, and also to Don. We've talked a lot about my case where I've sued another YouTuber. I sued him about 3 months ago for defamation, also for malicious prosecution, abuse of process, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. I'm not going to get into detail on it here today. But I have had many issues since I've been creating full-time on YouTube for the last 8 years, regarding the line between what's protected by the First Amendment here in the United States, freedom of speech. Where's the line between that and defamation of character? And in the United States of America, we have the loosest freedom of speech laws on the planet. We have the biggest distance, the biggest gap between what's considered freedom of speech, First Amendment, protected by the First Amendment, and what's defamatory. In other countries, if you were to do 1/10 or 2/10 of what these people do here in the U.S. on YouTube, they would either be fined or be in jail.
Or executed.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Well,
there are some countries
maybe
that
in some countries, I don't know.
Are questionable.
We don't know. I get what you're saying.
I'm just maybe stereotyping it, but I'm just saying it could be. Maybe it's something they would have done, 100 years ago. But I'm still saying it could get to that part.
Yes, and when you see this, and you might not be able to see it on screen, the people will. I'll explain it to you. You'll understand it. The people will see it on screen. When you see what this all boils down to here in the U.S., it's one thing called Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act that was created 30 years ago. And it needs to be massively updated because Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act shields social media companies from getting sued by the users. So, for example, the person that's been defaming me on YouTube, I can't sue YouTube for not taking action on their content or taking, his content down. I can't sue them for that. I have to sue the person directly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can understand that. That's the way it should be in every country, but platforms should allow, platforms should make a more dire and urgent effort to remove defamatory content immediately and give community guideline strikes.
They should have more responsibility for that.
They should have more responsibility to remove content more quickly.
Protect the public.
The problem is half the content on YouTube could be considered defamatory. It's drama content. It's people attacking other people, making up things about other people, especially on my end. These people have made up criminal accusations of me as facts, and they're false statements of fact, and they affect my reputation. They affect other people, from wanting to be a part of our organization and our YouTube channels. And so the platforms, including YouTube, here in the U.S., they should be taking more action, but they're not. And I'm going to show you something right now on screen on the YouTube help pages that are run by Google. Google owns YouTube. Everyone knows that by now. Let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser source, and I'll show you what I mean here. Let me read for you what it says here regarding defamation and how YouTube handles it. Defamation laws vary by country, but usually concern content that damages the reputation of another person or business. Although the definition of defamation varies around the world, in general, defamation is any untrue statement that is harmful to someone's reputation or causes someone to be shunned or avoided. And that's exactly what's been happening to me. We take into account local legal considerations in our defamation blocking process, and in some cases, we require a court order. For us to be able to process a defamation blocking request, the claim needs to be specific and strongly supported. For example, it needs to explain why you believe the statements are untrue and how it damages your reputation.
Mhm.
In some cases, uploaders willingly remove harmful content. Not the one that I'm suing. He basically tells me to go F myself. Because obtaining a court order can be costly and time-consuming, we encourage users to contact the uploaders of the content in question directly. Well, when these creators are making tons of money defaming people, and then when they do regular content, they make little to no money, they're not going to be cooperative. You have no choice but to take them to court, right? Right, babe?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you are unable to reach the uploader, consider whether the video meets the standards for removal under our privacy or harassment policy. If you've attempted to contact the uploader and you believe a defamation claim is more appropriate than a privacy or harassment complaint, please select your country of dispute from the drop down below and follow the directions. Well, this is where it gets interesting. In most other countries, I have the UK selected right here. You can see United Kingdom right there on your screen, okay? It says, please submit this form, and you can click the link to access the form. But look what happens when you select United States right below. The same caption up top, but when you go down to the bottom, here it says, because we are not in a position to adjudicate the truthfulness of postings, we do not remove video postings due to allegations of defamation, consistent with Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, Section 230C of the Communications Decency Act. We recommend that you pursue any claims you may have directly against the person who posted the content. That's why I'm in civil court, because I can't do shit about it on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. If you choose to pursue legal action against the content creator, note that we may be prepared to comply with any order requiring the content creator to remove the posting in question. And that's why we're in court. If there is a court order that involves content posted to YouTube, you may forward this via email, blah, blah, blah. Alternatively, you may wish to contact the uploader. Come on. Do you think we don't automatically do that?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, dude, just stop, right?
Yeah.
No. It's my freedom of speech. It's my freedom of speech. You know, this is protected speech. You can't silence me. I can talk about you whenever I want, in any way that I want. No, that's not true.
Yeah, I know. I'm like just laughing, and it's a shame that there is a line there.
You see this here, United States. Let me go to another country. Let's go to Venezuela. There's a form there, right? Let's go to Ukraine. There's a form there. We go back to the United States. There's no form because Section 230 shields YouTube, Google, and all the other social media platforms. That's why, and I wanted to show this because people are going to see this and they're going to be like, whoa, I never knew that page existed. Yeah, there's a defamation page on YouTube. It just doesn't apply to the U.S. because of Section 230. And Chris Cuomo from News Nation, he's been talking about Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act that needs to be rewritten to more so hold the platforms responsible. Now, still, we shouldn't sue the platforms, but the platforms should be forced to take more aggressive action towards defamatory content. So that way, we don't have to sue people for people, defaming us on any of the social media platforms. What are your thoughts about that, babe?
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
It's
hard to say more in any different. I mean, it just says it in black and white.
Right.
Like you're literally reading from the defamation page there, and yeah, I really don't have much more to say.
Is that an eye opener? Were you surprised?
Oh yeah.
Because you've heard this on Cuomo.
Yeah.
You've heard Chris Cuomo, who's on a regular cable channel, and he's been a very well-known, renowned journalist for like 30 plus years now.
Yeah.
So, for him to be speaking about this, and no one else is talking about it, it's just Cuomo. You know why none of the other people are talking about it? Because they're going on social media and they're writing the lines of what's defamatory and what's not, and they're making lots of profit doing it. And Chris Cuomo's like, I've got morals. He hasn't said it, but obviously he has morals, values, and ethics. He has morals, values, and ethics. And he's more about doing the right thing for humanity than being able to get away with defaming people for profit. And that's where the problem has been. And that's the problem here in the U.S. That's why these people, all these YouTubers that are getting sued, they say, I'm being sued for my freedom of speech. No, you're being sued for slander. Libel, which are the forms of defamation. Slander spoken, libel written. You're not being sued for your freedom of speech. I don't care if people talk about me all day, every day. If you make up criminal shit about me to keep your audience coming back and keep them donating to you, then you're going to be in court. Bottom line. That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to use my name and likeness and intentionally ruin my reputation to the point of where I can't function on a platform because people are believing your lies about me. And then you have people within the network, these creators, they have other sub-creators that are amplifiers. And they're called an echo chamber. And they echo chamber the defamation, which makes it worse. And then all of your content, all of their content of defamation gets recommended to anyone that was going to come be a part of your channel. The YouTube algorithm focuses, like Chris Cuomo says, the YouTube algorithm focuses more on amplifying the outrage because that's what keeps people on the platform longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about that? Does it need to be changed? It needs to be changed.
It needs to be changed. Absolutely. When you have it just so vague, it's really hard to enforce. It's hard to have people understand where that line is between freedom of speech and defamation.
Do you feel that line is
crossed
very far apart here in the U.S. compared to other countries? And do you feel, babe, that it needs to be shortened a bit? Do you think there needs to be more of a balance?
Balance is a good word. A balance is a really good word. Because, obviously I don't want my freedom of speech taken away. That's ridiculous. But But you don't go around making up shit about people that isn't true just to get clicks and make money. I don't see somebody on the internet and just go, okay, that person is quote unquote, a failure in life or a deadbeat dad or, something like that. If you put out there something that's concrete about that, like for instance, deadbeat dad, if you could show proof he's not, paying, that would be defamation. That is putting his shit out there, right?
Yeah.
Now, you could just say, I think this guy's a deadbeat. That's totally cool. So that's where it gets confusing.
Absolutely. Now, let's segue over into another creator that's being sued for defamation. This is not the first time he's been sued. This guy's been sued many times over the last several years. But we're going to focus on his current case. His name is Ryan Upchurch, and I believe his channel is called Ryan Upchurch or Upchurch Official. And he did a lot of videos about this Kylie Rodini case. It was a young teenage girl in the foothills of the Sacramento area near where we live. Literally, we're like 2 to 3 hours by car, a little bit northeast where this happened. And
where did it happen exactly? In
basically
El Dorado Hills?
She passed away. Apparently, she drowned in some body of water.
Folsom?
I can't.
I'm just guessing. Because I lived in Sacramento for a while, but Folsom Lake is out there.
Well, let me just tell you real quick here. Kylie Rodini was found dead in her car submerged in Prosser Lake after disappearing from a party in August of 2022. Autopsy results determined her death was accidental, caused by drowning, with no evidence of foul play. Now, we don't know how her car got in there. We have no idea.
Yeah, we don't know if she drove it in there or if somebody else drove it in there, you know?
Yeah, or maybe they were drinking and she was drunk, but by the time they found her, I mean, they're not going to be able to do a tox report because all that's going to be out of her system.
Autopsy. Yeah, because you could still test the tissue in the liver.
Oh, you could?
Mm-hmm.
So if they found alcohol in her system, it would still have been there?
Alcohol lasts in your liver for 4 days.
I don't know.
So if
her body was found approximately 2 weeks later, so it was gone.
It was gone.
So basically, if she was drunk, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
yeah, we're speculating. She could have been drunk and driven into the river.
Right.
She could have been
driving on unknown roads. She was very young, a newer driver, and when you're new at driving, you don't know how to drive as well as
especially
when
on
you get
curvy
older and
roads.
you experience.
I don't know if it was curvy where it was, but especially on those roads.
Right.
But also, I may watch way too many documentaries, but she could have been abducted in her own car and then brought out there, and the person just pushes the car in.
So this guy, Ryan Upchurch, said that her death was fake.
Like she faked her own death?
Yeah. And then the Rodini family, I believe they put out a GoFundMe, and he was saying that they were grifting. And they made up the death for grifting, and that is absolutely not the case because they found her body. I mean, how much more proof do you need? This dude is a defamer for dollars. In my opinion, Ryan, you're a defamer for dollars. And if you want to sue me for my opinion, I'd be happy to go to court with you because then that would probably blow up my YouTube channel. Because
right?
He has 3.3 million subs, and I'm not looking to leverage him for views and subs. But if he were to sue me over my opinion,
we would welcome it.
Yeah, I would be more than welcome for it, or to it. But anyway, so this guy has been sued by a couple of the family members, and let me just share with you how slowly the wheels of justice turn. Remember, I've been saying that, baby, all along. The wheels of justice turn slowly. On July 28th, 2023, okay, this was over 2 years ago. And this was actually a civil case filed in a federal district court, the Middle District of Tennessee. You can either file your civil case federally or at the state level. And there's maybe a little bit of a difference. Some federal laws are a little bit different. But I honestly feel it is better to file in a state case where the person you're suing lives, if you're here in the U.S., because they have to have jurisdiction over that person. And so that's just my opinion on that. But anyway, so July 28, 2023, this federal lawsuit was filed. This past January in 2025. So we're looking at, almost 11 months ago, a little less than 11 months ago. There was a deposition of Ryan Upchurch, 4 hours long. That deposition was probably one of the first aspects of the discovery stage. Remember, the case was filed July 28, 2023. Now, Ryan Upchurch and the attorneys he had at that time, they filed a motion to dismiss, and it was mostly dismissed. Sorry, not dismissed. It was mostly denied. The case proceeded on to discovery.
Mm-hmm.
When you file a motion to dismiss, like the person I'm suing has filed a motion to dismiss along with an anti-slap, because he's trying to say I'm trying to silence his freedom of speech, which I'm absolutely not trying to silence him at all. I'm trying to stop his defamation for dollars campaign, because whenever he talks about me normally, no one donates to him because it's not crazy enough.
I have a good example.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I was just watching that show. It was called For the People, and it's a law show.
Yeah.
Well, they had this. It was a day. It was an election day, so people were out voting, and one of the lawyers. They work for the federal court. One of the lawyers happened to be there with his parents, and they are not of the white ethnicity, I'll say. And there was a white man there, basically attacking them and verbally abusing them, trying to make them show their IDs and telling them that they couldn't vote and they were voting fraud and all this other stuff.
Wow.
And he was like, well, it's my First Amendment right to tell them how I feel. And they fought it, and they're like, no, because you are saying that they are illegal immigrants or aliens coming into.
They're
They're
accusing them of a criminal act that is not true.
Exactly.
That's a false statement is fact.
Yeah, and in front of a federal lawyer. That wasn't good.
That was not good in front of a federal lawyer.
Yeah,
no.
He was found guilty.
So, are you talking about a federal prosecutor?
Yes.
Okay, you're talking about a prosecutor? Was this a civil case?
No. It was federal because he's...
No. Federal and state are two different courts. Criminal or civil cases? A criminal case
is a criminal case.
Okay. Well, how was that relevant to the criminal case? What was the purpose of the case? What was the criminal act?
The attack and on the people and the intimidation factor that a lot of people did not vote. They got turned away because they felt attacked
by this one person.
And then it came out in the case that there was an organization paying these people to go and scare voters away.
It was a conspiracy. I get it.
Yeah. So it went straight up federal.
Okay.
So, but good example of freedom of speech versus defamation and and the consequences.
Yeah. I mean, you can't accuse someone of, being an illegal when you don't know what their status is. Mm-hmm. They may have papers. I mean, the people that do that are just angry and bitter people, and they want to just monetize it on social media. That's all it boils down to. Mm-hmm. But let's continue here. So between July 28, 2023, and I had to look at the docket, but the deposition that Ryan Upchurch did was in January of 2025. I'm assuming that discovery started maybe a few months before that, maybe like in let's just say September of 2024. Okay. So we're looking at July 2023, July 24, August, September. So we are looking at 14 months from the time the case was filed. And because Upchurch filed a motion to dismiss, and there was probably, a lot of scheduling issues and stuff like that, because I'm dealing with the same thing right now. The person that I'm in court with, we're supposed to have a motion to dismiss / anti-SLAPP hearing. Things keep happening. The court schedule will change at times, and other things happen. So, right now we're looking at our hearing once we finally figure out when it's going to happen. There are some issues that the defendant is causing right now, and court's going to help us figure that out. But we're looking at March or April at the soonest, which would be 7 months after I filed the case. And if my case survives, which I don't see any reason why it shouldn't, it'll be 7 to 8 months after filing. This case here took I'd have to see the exact timing, but based on the deposition that Ryan did in January of 2025, probably 3 months before that is when they entered discovery because the motion to dismiss was denied. So like 14 months.
Mhm.
So understand one thing. If you're in a position and you're here in the U.S. and someone's defaming you on social media, for example, and you sue them to get relief, it's going to be years before you get any relief if you have a strong enough case. Okay. The big dog is coming up, huh?
Yeah, I think he's trying to tell us something.
Oh, okay. Well, put him down and see what he does.
Put you down. Off, Mama. Thank you.
I think he just wanted to say hi to you.
Okay.
So yeah, the wheels of justice turn slowly. Now, let me share a few more things here that have been happening. Now, I have access to the federal PACER site. Anyone can sign up for an account. You have to go through a little bit of a process, but I went and looked at the docket, and so earlier this year, this was, I believe, after the deposition. The attorneys that Upchurch had filed a motion to withdraw as counsel of record.
Yeah.
They didn't want to deal with him anymore
Yeah.
because he just wasn't
Unreasonable.
allowing them to present the case where he has a chance to actually, maybe beat this, and based on the guy's deposition, I saw it all. He uploaded his whole deposition on YouTube this past Thanksgiving weekend. One of our good friends and our newest GNA executive, ODN, he goes by ODN on YouTube, made me aware of this, and I saw the whole thing, heard the whole thing, and this guy either was playing dumb or maybe is just a little bit not there.
A little not there. Little screws.
Then I realized he's been in court several times before, so he probably knows how to just say, I don't remember, I don't recall. Instead of perjuring yourself, you say, I don't recall, I don't remember, right? Because if you agree to something that could affect, if you agree to something that the opposing counsel is asking you, it could affect your case, right? If you lie about something, you could be, held in contempt for perjury. So, what's the next best thing to do is just say, I don't recall, I don't remember, right?
Yeah. It's almost like pleading the fifth.
So exactly. So basic without actually pleading it, right? Without pleading the fifth, it's like taking the fifth, right? But a judge and a jury, they're gonna be able to see that, right? So the motion to withdraw as counsel of record for Upchurch, his lawyers, was granted by the judge. Then Upchurch himself, he had no counsel at this time. He wrote a response in opposition to the motion to withdraw as counsel of record. And basically, the court got back and they understand the situation he's in, but they still approved the withdrawal as counsel of record because, Upchurch's attorneys filed it the right way. They just can't help him anymore.
Yeah.
And in the response, from what I remember, I don't want to open it here as a PDF. From the response, apparently, Upchurch mentioned to the court that I've paid these attorneys $303,000 already. And I'm like, wow.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Just for a case at that point, or at this point, which has been around for a little over 2 years, $303,000.
And then they quit.
And then he's trying to say, well, I paid them all this money. You have to force them to not quit on me. Well, why would you want attorneys representing you that don't want to represent you.
Right? I
Right?
mean, they're not going to fight for you.
Because they know how much of a POS you are. They don't want to represent you anymore because you weren't listening to them, and they feel like, based on what you've done and not listened to them, that your chances of winning this case or getting the case dismissed are slim to none.
Yeah.
So,
Because why wouldn't they continue on?
right. Now, after that, basically the judge got back regarding Upchurch's opposition to the motion to withdraw his counsel of record, and it was denied. The judge basically said they filed it properly. Your attorneys filed it properly. It's been granted, but we understand now the defendant has the right to new counsel. We're going to give him 30 days to do that. Then, there was something on the docket, a new attorney, a notice, they call it a notice of appearance. A notice of appearance was filed, and now Upchurch has a new attorney. So now that brings us up to this Thanksgiving weekend. But before that, there was a protective order granted by the plaintiffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I have here, let me go and switch back over to the browser screen. Let me see here. Ryan Upchurch faces contempt motion after posting deposition in Kylie Rodini case. The dude takes the 4-hour deposition video he was given for court litigation use only, uploads it to his YouTube channel with 3.3 million subscribers, and does the same thing the guy I'm suing does and many other people do that have defamed other people for dollars. He's now monetizing a court case where he's the defendant, and there's clear-cut proof that he actually defamed this family over the death of their family member.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to tell you, this guy's a POS. Now, I looked online, and years ago in 2021, he was worth about $5 million net worth. But since that time, he's grown on his YouTube channel. I believe he's a rapper and a comedian as well. He has multiple income sources. And from what I'm hearing, there's been no income of his disclosed in years, but from what people are seeing, they're estimating that he's making about $5 million a year. So think about this. And a lot of his, I looked into it, he had some other cases. And from what I saw, in at least one of the cases, maybe a second one, I'd have to do, I'd have to go in there and look at it more detailed. A lot of these cases have been settled out of court, and then the case gets dismissed with prejudice. Mm-hmm. So what happens with these people that have money? They know the value of defaming people, even if they get sued and have to settle. The value of defaming people is going to make them more money.
Is higher than
he's going to lose. Then they're going to lose in a court case, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, okay, he's paid this attorney He's paid his attorneys in this current case $303,000, right? Let's say it costs him $500,000. Okay, first of all, that's a tax write-off. When you're making $5 million a year, let's say, for example, that's a great tax write-off right there.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to be paying that in taxes anyways, but you can write that off, right? Or at least I think you can. I believe you can. It's a business expense, right? A court case is going to be a business expense. And so, but in the meantime, this is all content for him. This is all content for him doing the same thing the guy I'm suing does, going to cry to his audience. Look, they're trying to silence my freedom of speech and help me donate to the legal fund and this and that. That's what these people do, right? I know you're rolling your eyes because this is bullshit, right? It is,
Yeah.
right? So this case may cost him $500,000. Maybe it might cost him another $500,000 in a settlement. Let's say it costs him $1 million. Okay? That's all going to be a tax write-off, right? How much money is he going to make off this court case? Probably millions off of it. The only way you can teach someone a lesson like this is if the jury, the judge and or the jury, I think this is a jury case, if the jury awards the family punitive damages.
Yeah.
And punitive damages are typically awarded when the judge and the jury see such egregious behavior. Like these creators on YouTube monetizing stuff that they clearly know isn't true, but they present it that way because there's an audience out there that will pay them money for that content, or will tune in to any creator that has conspiracy theories about things happening completely the opposite in the way they actually did. And to me, above and beyond the legal aspect of all this is these people have no morals, values, and ethics. They have absolutely zero morals, values, and ethics. Now, anything you want to add to that before I continue through this here? Because I'm going to share with you what's going on right now. And then we have some Reddit postings to go over, and then you'll take your break before we get to the Reddit postings. Another 10 minutes or so. You're good?
Okay.
Okay. Anything you want to say so far before we continue?
No. I mean, it's an interesting case and situation this man has put himself in, but I don't empathize for him. I actually hope that the family takes a hell of a lot more money from him.
I agree. All right. So right here it says Ryan Upchurch is now facing a new legal battle connected to the Kylie Rodini case. In a recent filing in federal court, plaintiffs David Robertson and Daniel Rodini accused Upchurch of violating a protective order by publicly releasing his full video deposition online. God. According to the motion, Upchurch uploaded the entire 4-hour deposition to his YouTube channel on Thanksgiving Day and also shared multiple clips on Instagram where he has millions of followers. He knows the money that he loses in court,
he's going to get it right back.
He's going to make it tenfold on the defamatory drama content.
Yeah.
What a piece of, you know what? That's what these people do.
We say PETA, pain in the ass.
Yeah, pain in the ass. Right. And as far as this morning, it was still live on his YouTube channel. I downloaded it because if he deletes it, I want to just have it because it's interesting for
just
anyone.
For shits and giggles.
Well, if people haven't seen this deposition, it's actually very interesting, especially people that know the story regarding, my case with the person I'm suing. You can see a lot of similarities, in my opinion, between the defendant I'm suing and, Upchurch, who's the defendant in his case. And he's also claiming, that, it's free speech. But let's continue here. The protective order in the case forbids anyone outside of the attorneys and the deponent from, that's the person being deposed, from accessing deposition materials. By posting the video to the public, the plaintiffs say Upchurch openly broke the court's rules. They also highlight that this is the same litigation tied to Upchurch's accusations surrounding the disappearance and death of Kylie Rodini, a case that drew massive online attention. The motion also calls out Upchurch for a recent social media post where he attacked the integrity of the federal judge.
Sounds familiar.
The guy attacked the federal judge. Wow. Referring to the judge as a crooked official. Doesn't surprise me that this guy would actually say something like that. Now, I'm just going by what's said here. I would need to look at the docket and see him actually posting that, but this is just what someone else wrote about it, and I'm sure it's in the case filings. Plaintiffs argue that these statements risk undermining the court, polluting the jury pool, and inflaming his large online audience. The biggest problem is inflaming his large online audience.
Yeah.
Because people that follow people like that are just like that, are just like him.
Mm-hmm.
Like attracts like. That's the problem. That's why we need to change Section 230 and make the lines more balanced between, what's protected First Amendment speech, free speech, and what's defamation. Right now, the line is too far apart here in the U.S. It's only in the U.S. And until we change Section 230, this shit's going to keep happening, and more people are going to keep getting sued. And then more of these YouTubers are going to use litigation as more content. And then the content they make off of litigation is going to make them 5 or 10 times as much in revenue as the case will cost them in a settlement.
Yeah.
That's the problem. This is where punitive damages need to come into play. And the jury needs to say, look, what's the guy's net worth? What's really going to sting him? What's going to teach him to never do this again? What's going to set precedent for this for no other YouTuber to do this, right? It's let's award $5 million in punitive damages. Oh, that would definitely hit him, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that would hit these creators, is basically taking half their net worth in punitive damages, because they know what they're doing is wrong. They're in court, and they're using the court system as a spectacle, and that is ridiculous. What are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. No, I think that the judges should, charge them more, increase the money.
Absolutely.
For what they're doing, yeah.
Absolutely. Before filing the motion, plaintiffs say they contacted Upchurch's attorney and asked that the videos be removed, but no action was taken. I think it's still public as of the time we're recording this right now. It was public earlier this morning. The filing asks the court to take several steps. These include ordering Upchurch to delete the deposition and all related clips from every platform within 24 hours, prohibiting him from posting any further deposition content, stopping him from making public statements about the testimony, and preventing him from making any more disparaging comments about the judge or attorneys. Well, you gotta hold these people in contempt. You've got to place sanctions on them.
I mean, to disrespect a federal judge, what kind of fucking cojones does he have?
Disrespect any judge, state or federal.
Well, I mean, I'm talking, this is the top of the line insults. Like, yeah, it's not okay to do it to any judge, but this is like doing it to the president.
It's a federal district court. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like doing it to the president.
Yeah. This is at a federal level. You're right about that. But judges, I don't see any difference regarding state judges and federal judges, besides the difference of the law that they have to apply to these cases. And a lot of the law is very similar. There are some laws that are on the federal level that are not at the state level, but mainly they overlap. But anyway.
So do you think a Supreme Court justice is the same as any other judge out there?
They're all the same. The Supreme Court just has the final say in anything.
Well, so what you're saying is, like Cuomo, he's a lawyer on top of being a journalist, okay? Mm-hmm. So what, he is not practicing, so like he's still a lawyer, but he can't just go right into being a federal judge. He's got to work that up, right?
He has to be
appointed judge of whatever, and then whether that's civil, criminal.
Typically, you have to serve as a judge at a county or federal level, more so federal level. He has not ever served as a judge.
Take him out of the equation. How long do you have to serve to become a federal judge?
I don't think there's any particular length of time.
Okay.
It's just you prove yourself, and then, when you get selected for that position, typically by the president, when you stand out, they can select you. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
There's no amount of time, but typically they're not just going to put someone that doesn't have any experience, as a Supreme Court justice. So that's a pretty prominent, that's the cream of the crop right there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the plaintiffs also request attorney fees totaling $2,500 for the time spent preparing the motion. Ryan Upchurch, defendant. Okay, I don't see that part there. In short, the plaintiffs argue that Upchurch intentionally violated the protective order and escalated matters with public comments against the court. They are asking the judge to step in immediately and impose sanctions to protect the integrity of the case connected to Kylie Rodini. I
agree.
Go ahead, babe.
No, I agree. The judge does need to intervene.
Yeah, this dude is just making it about YouTube theatrics. This is no different than the same guy that we're in court with.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of these people are doing. It's not just the guy we're suing. This is why we're talking about Upchurch. And then there are other people. I'm not going to get into it. I saw another YouTuber getting recently sued by a company that makes a product he reviewed, and they said that he basically lied about their review, wasn't truthful about their review, and they're suing him for defamation. So, wow, it's crazy what people will do to get YouTube clicks and donations, and then they get sued, and all they say is, "Oh, this is my freedom of speech." Not everything is protected by the First Amendment. A lot of it is. You can insult people all day, every day. You can call me a piece of shit all you want. That's an insult. It's not defamatory. But if you accuse me of a crime I didn't commit, and then you put it out there to your audience as a truthful fact when it's not, that's defamatory.
Uh-huh.
And that does affect your reputation. Anything else, babe?
No.
So, yeah, at this point right now, this case right now, as of November 21st, there's been a motion, November 21st, 2025, there's been a motion to reset the case for trial. Whenever you're in any civil matter, even at a federal level, there's a whole schedule, right? And basically, because of the motion to dismiss and new counsel and all of that, they now have to reset all that and give the new attorney a reasonable amount of time to prepare the case and all that. So, this case was filed in July 28th of 2023, July 2024, 25. So 2.5 years right now, and we're looking at least another year in this case, maybe 6 months to a year. 3.5 years before this family will get justice. Now, I don't think my case with the defendant is gonna take that long. My estimate's going to be about 2 to 2.5 years before our case is fully done.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to mention this because this is what you're going to be dealing with. If you're a decent person or you're a decent creator and other creators are creating defamation for dollars type of content, if they're doing that to you, whether you're another creator that does positive content like we do, or you're defaming an actual real news story, you risk getting sued. And more people are finally coming out and saying they've had enough. They've had enough of being exploited and having their name run through the mud for profit.
Yeah.
Over lies. And that's why we're in court. Any final thoughts, babe, before we have you take your first break, and then we'll come back and
no. I think we both said exactly what we've needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, babe, I'm going to turn the camera off right now, and Dawn is going to step away.
I know who that is.
Hang on a second here. Hang on, folks. All right, so Dawn's taking her break. We're going to take this moment to remind you folks, if you are listening to us on the audio-only network, such as, I'm forgetting, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, my lady's favorite, iHeartRadio, Amazon's Audible, YouTube's Music, or any of the other not as popular or not as well-known audio-only podcast platforms that host us. If you're listening to us there and you would like to watch the video version, which is the same thing as the audio version, but with video, we rip the audio from the video. Go below the description section of wherever you're listening to this audio only and click the link about halfway down. That'll take you back. That'll redirect you to our main YouTube channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. When you go there, subscribe, bang the bell, and select all notifications so you don't miss anything. And go below in that description section of that podcast video on our main YouTube channel. A couple lines down, you'll see the link to our secondary channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we go live very often. I go live every day, if not almost every day. I do Walking with Purpose streams from my local park or, other walking trails in my area. Sometimes Dawn joins me. Sometimes we do in-studio streams. I do them with or without Dawn. Sometimes Dawn and I will do, Dawn, obviously she's my girlfriend, she's on this show, the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. Sometimes we do an On the Couch with Dawn and Eli live streams. Sometimes we do Driving with Purpose streams while we're on the road. So make sure you connect with us if you find out about us through the audio-only network, so you can have more of us, if not every day, almost every day. And so, that is that. I'm just waiting for Dawn to come back in here. And she should be back in here any second. I love the background. If you're watching us on YouTube, the background is, what do they call it? The gavel. And it's got a balancing scale. Like the judge's balancing scale, because the law is based on balancing, balancing both sides. It's a balancing act. And just like I was talking about a second ago, or we were talking about not a second ago, but maybe like 30 minutes ago or so, we were talking about that the lines of what's considered protected speech by the First Amendment here in the U.S. and what's considered defamatory, the line is too far apart. And we need to more so, balance it out. We need to more so balance it out. And that's why I chose this picture today, because, the scale is not balanced when it comes to freedom of speech versus defamation. It's just too far apart. And until we change Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, then it's just never going to change, in my opinion.
It's a pendulum.
Oh, let me turn on. Are you back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
That's a, now I can't remember how to say it. I'll forget about it. And
you could talk a little bit louder.
No, it's okay. I just, I can't remember exactly. I was going to say what that thing was, but now I forgot the word.
The scale?
Yeah.
What you mean? The type of scale that this is?
Yeah.
Well, we could look that up, baby. What is?
Just had it.
Hold on. Is the court tipping scale called? The scales of justice.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not what I said, but yeah. Oh, pendulum. That's what I said. It's like
the pendulum? Yeah. You're talking about the way the pendulum swings.
Yes.
Right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. What I was referring to is called the scales of justice. They need to be more balanced. And they're not when it comes to defamation and freedom of speech here in the U.S. Other countries have it better. And again, until we change Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, I don't see any change. I don't think it's going to happen during the Trump administration. Trump actually wanted it changed during his first term back in 2016. But now he doesn't even care about it because now he has a social media company and he wants that protection. So it's kind of funny, first term Trump, second term Trump. All right. So we got about another, about a half an hour before we have to wrap this up, or 25 minutes. Let's go over a few of these YouTube postings, or not these YouTube postings, these Reddit postings that refer to what we're talking about, and get some more feedback here. Let's switch on over back to the where
changed our background there.
There we go. This first posting is from the subreddit r/YouTubers, and the original poster's title is "How Does Penguins Zero?" And I know who Penguins is. I've seen him online. He's kind of crazy, interesting. How does he do his content without getting defamation claims / takedown requests constantly? Guy has 15 million subs and gets 1 to 3 million views on every video he uploads. He often talks about cringe internet behavior, dumb actions, and generally internet culture. I'm sure he always makes sure to not attack people directly, but he does sometimes still throw some pretty harsh words out there. And even though he is very eloquent and intelligent, he also makes mistakes, or possibly his research wasn't enough. A single video of him talking about you where you messed something up could destroy your career. Since it is bound to get a couple million views, surely he's not asking every individual for their permission before he starts talking about them. He doesn't have to, as long as he's not defaming you.
Yeah, but what he's doing is basically saying that person's embezzling.
Here's the thing. You can talk about someone all you want. You can talk about someone all you want without using their content. If you're going to use their content, I would limit that to 5% or less of the amount of the content, of the amount of the length of the video. Mm-hmm. If it's 5 minutes, limit that to like 30 seconds or so. Put a little clip and share your response and do a lot of commentary. Because if not, it could be copyright infringement. That's not covered by fair use. A lot of these creators that hang on the First Amendment to try to shield them from their defamation for dollars campaign, they also say that I can use as much of your content as I want and it is fair use. And that is absolutely not the case. Fair use is subjective to the federal court. And every situation is unique, and the amount of someone's content you use, also the effect on the marketplace of the original, those are all factors taken into consideration, through a federal court. So that is that. Anything else you want to add to that, babe?
No.
Okay, let's go ahead and go back here.
Go back.
I'm asking because I want to make a commentary channel, but don't want to face legal consequences. Anytime you use anyone's content, even 1 second, you could get sued. You could get a copyright takedown. Even if it's fair use. You can claim fair use, they can still sue you. Doesn't mean they're going to win, they can still sue you. Mm-hmm. The best thing to do is to not use anyone's content, be completely original. You shouldn't depend on other people's content to make content. Now you have something to say. I'm sure you have something to say about that.
Well, yeah, if you want to be a successful content creator, originality is the best way to go. You want to copy other people, you want to post what they're posting. Well, who are you about? What are you about? All you're about is, I guess, me, because that's all you post about. That's what it sounds like.
Absolutely. Now, check this out. Let's go back and read this first comment here. It is legal to say your opinion as long as it is clearly an opinion. You need to learn what defamation means. It does not mean someone said mean stuff to me. It means someone put out lies on the internet about me with the purpose of destroying my image. So it's a false statement as fact. Typically, it more so it involves accusing you as a criminal, right? Him saying someone is dumb is an opinion. Absolutely. It's an insult. Insults are opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification. It looks like the original poster deleted their username. Okay. Here's another one here. Big Chicken Leg says, in the United States, at least, this goes exactly along with what I was talking about. It is extremely difficult to prove defamation. If someone is willing to pay the legal fees to take someone to court over defamation, they're probably very well off. But well-off people hire competent lawyers, and competent lawyers will tell their clients 99.9% of the time that they don't have a case if it relates to defamation. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Before I get your feedback, the people that can't afford to hire an attorney to do this, they have plenty of money, and they don't need the money, and it may not even be worth it for them. The people that the people that can't afford an attorney, and they're trying to build an online presence, but they're being defamed by other people or a specific creator, and it affects them from growing. But at the same time, they can't afford an attorney. I'm in the same boat. So guess what? I sued this person pro se. I sued him. I'm acting as my own attorney. The amount of work I've done in this case, our case is 3 months old, the person I'm suing. And there's already I think over 80 documents on the docket.
That's a lot.
So far, if I had to hire an attorney with the amount of time I put into this, and they had to put in the time into this, literally, it would have probably cost me close to $100,000. Close to $100,000, at least 100,000.
Yeah.
So these creators, including the one that I'm suing, this guy's been defaming me for 6 years, defaming me for dollars for 6 years, because his audience, he's basically created an audience of people that, don't like me, and all they want is defamatory content on me, and that's what they donate to, right? And so basically he thought, until he got sued, that there's no way Eli can afford to sue me. There's no way he's going to be able to do this on his own, right? And that's what these people do. They look at the percentages, and they're like, he can't afford to sue me, and he can't represent himself, because this is going to be very hard for anyone to represent themselves. But when I'm determined, I figure it out.
That is a true statement.
Go ahead.
No, that's a true statement. When you are determined, you will figure it out.
When I'm determined, I'll figure it out. And I want to set a precedent with this case here, that even the small creator that's trying to, run their business on YouTube, and it's being slandered, and it's affected his business from growing. And then that person that's been defaming me realizes that, hey, I probably will never sue him because I can't afford to do it, or don't know how to do it on my own, right? He even mentioned in a video 6 years ago where he accused me of something. I'm not going to mention what it is here. He accused me of something pretty harsh, or basically he was trying to start a rumor that I was doing this type of other criminal activity. And he also said, yes, it wasn't true, and yes, I shouldn't have said that, or something like that. But yes, Eli would have to sue me. He would have to sue me civilly, right? He said that 6 years ago.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I finally ended up suing him. But this commenter here is right. It's hard to prove. I do have the proof. I have plenty of proof. but it is hard to prove. It's also very expensive to hire someone. And most of the people that are being defamed can't afford an attorney and don't know how to file the case or represent themselves on their own. They don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these creators, they prey on that. They prey on the fact that more than likely they're never going to get sued.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out a way to do it because I'm just tired of the smaller creator being defamed by other creators like the one that I'm suing. This guy's made hundreds of thousands of dollars off my content over the last 8 years, and I haven't made anything near that. I've probably made on my content over the last 8 years, I've probably made maybe $15,000 or $20,000. He's made over $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty wide gap.
Mm-hmm.
It would have never been that way had he not created this smear campaign, including defamation of my character, and monetized my own name and likeness more than I'm able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then his response is, you're just a shitty, boring creator. No, it's a defamation. It's affecting me. A lot of people have not supported us because of that, and that's why we're in court. Any other thoughts, babe?
No.
We're going to get to one or two more of these postings here before we start to wrap it up. I'm sorry. I'm very, very passionate about this topic, if you can't tell.
I know.
Okay. Okie dokie. Oh.
Where's our screen? Where'd the justice go?
Oh, it's right there. It's right there. Hold on. Here it is. All right. So let me go ahead and there's another one here. Let's go back to the browser source here.
Go back.
This is from the subreddit r/partnered YouTube, and the original poster's title is, I'm a very small YouTuber getting legal threats from a company called Be Viral. So let's read some comments here. Yeah, companies buy rights to viral videos, and a quick Google says that's a real attorney at a real firm. And the original poster deleted their posting. Personally, I'd back off, but feel free to hire a lawyer and fight it if you prefer. Do prepare for a lawsuit if you live in the U.S. Right.
Oh, definitely.
Anywhere else, you could file a platform complaint. In the U.S., you have no choice but to sue these people.
Yep.
Right? If you don't, maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, it may matter or may not matter to you. To me, it matters because I love YouTube, and this is where I want to grow my organization. And continuously getting slandered out here is going to affect us from ever being able to reach our goals. Thank you. I saw the firm as well, but was wondering if they were trying to scam me, since it's happened in the past where people pretend with real firm names. Never knew this was a thing, buying viral videos from other people, and all seems iffy to me. But again, thank you for your reply. There's another person here saying, yeah, you're fucked here. The takedown notice they originally sent you isn't the issue here. It is the libel. They could have you quite badly for that. Well, libel is written. Worst that could happen from ignoring the original takedown is they'd issue a DMCA unless you've made tons of money, are a big player. And it's very unlikely they'd go after you in court. Lawsuits cost money, so there's no telling if they actually will, but you could very well be in the find out phase. Yeah, whenever you get one of those, whenever you get a notice from an attorney or from YouTube or from any company, yes, you want to make sure that it's real first and foremost, but you can't automatically discredit something that may appear to look spammy as spam. Because if it's not spam, it could affect your rights and might get you sued and put you in a really bad position.
Yeah.
My advice, don't use anyone else's content and don't defame people.
Yeah.
State your opinions. Talk about whoever you want, but do it without defaming them. and do it without using. Do it without defaming them, and do it without using their content. And then
Yeah,
you're good.
originality. That's
Originality,
all.
right?
If you
Go ahead.
stick to that, just being original, being true to who you are and what you want to put out there to your audience, then you'll stay out of all the trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else, babe?
Nuh-uh.
All right. So let's see here. We've got a couple of more. We might end this a little bit sooner. Let's go back here to the browser source. This is from the subreddit r/legal advice off topic. And the original poster's title is, "Can you sue YouTube for defamation?"
No.
At least in the U.S., you can't. I'm not sure about other countries. I think in other countries you might be able to, but that's why they allow you to fill out a defamation form, and they will take down content if you are able to show enough proof that
to prove that it's unsuitable. Yeah.
Here in the U.S., they cannot adjudicate that because of Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. Anyone on the Google platform, YouTube, likely knows how content creators make money. Straight to the point, I'm curious about how legal it is and how realistic is it to sue in response to lost revenue in the event of being copyright claimed. Note, I am not currently nor ever plan to become a YouTuber, and I am currently not seeking any legal course or advice outside of for educational purposes. So here's the thing. Copyright and defamation are two different things. So I'm not even going to read any more of this. I only put this out here because it's what people don't understand about defamation is what it really is. Defamation has nothing to do with copyright. Defamation has to do with reputational harm.
Yeah, not copyright, not trademark.
Copyright has to do with any audio or video that you record, right? Or any graphic that you create. Any graphic you create, any audio you record, any video you record, that's all your original stuff, your voice, your likeness, that's your copyright, automatic.
Mm-hmm. Belongs to you.
Okay. When it comes to defamation, that has nothing to do with defamation.
Mm-mm.
Defamation is basically simply somebody making a false statement as fact about you. And then here in the U.S., you first have to have that, and then you have to prove how it's harming you. And usually it's reputational harm. In many cases, it could be loss of income. That's a big one. You have to be able to prove loss of harm. If you're going to sue for intentional infliction of emotional distress, you have to prove how it's causing you emotional distress. And now in many cases, most judges know that there are situations where anyone would feel a lot of emotional distress regarding something. So if one of those events happens where, that would cause emotional distress for any normal human being, that's your proof right there. So it's very confusing. And I'm not going to even read any more into this. I just wanted to share this first part because a lot of people don't even realize what defamation is. What are your thoughts? Is it very confusing or what? Have you learned a lot from it?
What did you say?
What's that?
What did you say? I didn't hear that.
Defamation, a lot of people don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They confuse it with copyright. They confuse it with other laws. And defamation is clearly reputational harm.
Yes. I mean, all you got to do is Google it, look it up in a dictionary, find out what the definition is of the word. That's all you got to do. Then you'll know exactly what you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your answers are very short. You're not really fond of this topic.
I am.
You're just tired of because we've been dealing with our own thing.
Yes. And that's the thing. This stuff that we have going on is something that goes on 24/7. And so it does become very, overwhelming at times.
But you knew this was important information to share.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes you have to do some things that you don't feel comfortable with, but it is important to do.
Yeah, no, it's not that you don't want to talk about this or you aren't enjoying it. It's just that the case that we're dealing with, it's taken a lot of time because I'm representing myself. You hear about it all the time, whether you want to hear about it or not. And I'm not trying to overwhelm you. It's just overwhelming.
It is.
And I wanted to mention that because I love it when you're raw and real. And this is what this is what I want to show the people out there is that, hey, we're real people. Sometimes we have to talk about things that we don't enjoy or don't want to talk about because it's important to teach that lesson to the audience, because I don't want anyone ever having to go through what I'm going through. But if you do end up going through it, just know there are things you can do about it. You don't have to continuously be a victim, because the laws here in the U.S. Haven't caught up to the rest of the world, because we have too much freedom of speech here, and people think they can defame you all they want and then say it's my First Amendment right to do that.
Yeah,
It's just hogwash. All right. And let me just show you just real quick here, and then we'll start wrapping it up. This is how stupid sometimes people can be online. Okay. Go back to the browser source here. This is from the subreddit r/legal advice Canada. YouTube support recommends pursuing defamation. I don't think YouTube support, if you contacted them. Oh, hold on a second. I forgot to unplug that. That is the landline phone.
that never rings.
It's okay. It'll ring 5 times and then the machine will get in. It's probably some spam call. One more time?
Nope.
4 times. Okay. So he may be talking about the support pages like we looked at earlier. And YouTube support is not recommending pursuing defamation. They're saying that these are your options. They're not in a legal position to recommend anything, but they have to comply with the law and say, you may want to consider this here in the U.S. because Section 230 shields us from this, and we can't even take any defamation requests in the U.S. If you're in a different country, because of their laws and how we're seen there differently, yes, we can do that there. But I wanted to show this on the screen here. We're not even going to go through it because there's a lot of confusion. Are you beginning to notice how much confusion people have when it comes to defamation? Most people don't even realize they're being defamed. And it's not fair for people to be exploited on the internet through defamation for dollars, just because they don't even realize it's happening, because they don't know what defamation is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really tired of people exploiting people on the internet here in the U.S. and exploiting the First Amendment, because the gap is too far apart between the First Amendment and defamation. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a very, very, very
thin
confusing
line
subject. Go ahead.
It's a thin line, very thin.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thin line that people don't understand, but it's a very broad separation.
Yes.
Between what's protected speech and what's defamation. Here in the U.S., you have an extremely high burden to prove defamation. It's very difficult to prove it, but it's not impossible. So I just wanted to share that. We are at 1 hour and 38 minutes, and we're going to start to wrap this up. Let me go back to full screen. And I just want to get your final thoughts, including how us being in a defamation case, it's more than that, but one of the aspects is defamation. How this has affected you and how it would affect you if I didn't file this case, and how will it help us or not help us? I mean, if we end up winning the case, I want to know, do you feel in the situation we were in, there was anything else that could have been done?
No, this is the only way that we could attempt to put a stop to it. This is the only way, by putting it into the hands of the court.
Right. Even if I were to leave YouTube,
he would follow you wherever you go.
He'd follow me wherever I would go, or he would continue
sabotage.
He would continue to exploit my content because I wouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. As long as someone would be willing to pay him to defame me, he would have kept doing it. But this case takes a lot of time because I'm a pro se litigant. I'm a self-represented litigant. And because I can't afford the attorney. But I'll tell you this, I've learned a lot. And I'm filing my paperwork like an attorney would. And I'm learning a lot about the law. You know, of course, there are many sources. There's ChatGPT, there's Google and Google AI. There are a lot of resources online that can help you with your case. But you still have to have common sense. You can't just sit there and feed something to ChatGPT and then expect it to spit out, a perfectly court-polished filing. It'll spit out a filing for you, but it's not going to be exactly in the right format, and it's not going to be exactly what needs to be said. People that are spitting things out quickly through ChatGPT need to sit there and refine things and give it more detailed information and make corrections. Whenever I use ChatGPT for something, I will have it review it literally 50 times before, I finalize it. And that's the difference between, how I'm handling things compared to other people. But yeah, it's taken a big toll. And it has to be done because Don and I, we love social media. We do. You love it. You love Facebook. I'm sure you like YouTube too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not fair. It wouldn't be fair for us to leave social media just because people are defaming us.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. And the thing that pisses me off is that they all think that this is fun and games, where really it's real life for the rest of us.
Right.
I've talked about the fact that if I ever want to go back to work, how am I supposed to convince anybody to hire me if they did a Google check or even a YouTube check on me? How
Right.
am I going to convince them that I'm not going to be the crazy person y'all are saying I am?
Right.
And so that's where it's like the defamation comes in, because I'm unable to get a job from what you all are saying because people are believing it. So that's where I'm just like, let's think about other people and how this is affecting them, their families, their friends, their jobs, your family's jobs, everything.
Right.
These people will look into every aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
Best
Absolutely.
thing is to protect it and keep it off the internet.
Abso-
Just be original, do your own original content, and you will be successful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have nothing else to add to that. I mean, you ended it up beautifully. And, yeah, I love hearing your honest thoughts, even if they are things that I probably wouldn't want to hear. They need to be heard. They need to be said. Because I know the time I'm putting into, fighting this case. I know this is time I'm taking away from her, and it breaks my heart each and every day. But at the same time, her and I both know, Don and I both know, that if I didn't do this, then this would never change. And it would affect us at a far greater level. At least now, we're fighting this in court. There's a record of it. And we're going to pray to God that it becomes favorable and we get the protection that we're looking for. And then down the road, if either one of us ever needs to seek employment, for example, I'm not saying we're going to or we need to, if we ever need to seek employment outside, outside of YouTube and stuff, and they see any of this stuff, then we can tell them, hey, we went to court. This is not true. Here's the court case. Please don't hold this against us, right? And that's what we're more so fighting for. With that being said, baby, it's time now to what? Start wrapping this up.
We messed that up.
Oh, it's okay. We did it good enough, baby. All right. Yeah. All right. You've been listening to the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. This was episode number 37. And today's episode was titled Stop Defaming for Dollars Online or Get Sued.
Or get sued, yeah.
Stop defaming for dollars online or what, baby?
Get sued.
Get sued. It's as simple as that, okay? If you're a creator and you're being defamed and you don't know what to do, you can't afford to hire an attorney, and you want a few tips on how you could potentially file a case, a civil case for defamation on your own pro se, email me. Links below in the description wherever you're watching or listening to this. Elias Mellis at GenuineNetworkingAssociation.org. Now, if you're listening to us on the entire audio-only podcast network, such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, your very favorite baby,
iHeartRadio.
We're also on Amazon's Audible, and we're also on YouTube's Music or anywhere else, that host podcasts, the unknown podcast places. And you want to watch the video version, if you're listening to us audio only, go below the description, about halfway down. There's a link to the video version, which is hosted on our main YouTube channel, GNA Genuine Personal Development. Make sure you go there, subscribe, bang the bell, and select notifications. Then within the video description section of that link, go below down a couple lines and subscribe to our secondary channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we go live. If not every day, almost every day, and sometimes Dawn joins me. With that being said, time to go, baby. Time to go. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, what, baby? Be good to each other.